What's it mean when you peek up the inside of another driver? If you're stuck behind someone you're struggling to overtake, showing your nose up the inside of a corner can play to your benefits, especially if that defending driver is mirror driving, basically meaning they're looking in their mirrors more than they're focusing on themselves ahead. There's a few ways you can pull it off successfully, and a few ways it can all go wrong. So how's it work? Here is Fernando Guerrero from S2V Esports, one of my former teammates, and he's racing against myself. Thanks to him for appearing in this video. The basic concept is to peek up the inside and force the defending driver ahead to deviate from their normal line. This can work perfectly, especially if they're mentally weak and they're hindered by your aggression. If they're looking in their mirrors more than they're looking at the apex of the corner, that always helps too. You have to know your personnel though. If you've done your study or your experience going up against a certain driver you're about to battle with, then you should know how they react to a certain peak you might pull off. Sometimes though, you might not be able to pull off the overtake at the corner you peek at, but possibly at the next corner. So think about it. If you peek up the inside of turn 6 at Montreal, you might pull off the pass at the end of the next straight at turn 8. That's the back straight at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Here's how it can all go wrong. If you were pretty much guaranteed to pass 3 corners later, but you just got too desperate trying to pass 10 seconds earlier, you might peek up the inside, lose time because the driver in front didn't react at all. They're quite a mentally strong driver, they're confident, then you're too far behind on the next straight to overtake. I was pretty much guaranteed to pass here had I not shown my nose up the inside, so I pretty much peeked unnecessarily when I didn't need to and lost that opportunity on the next straight. There's no reason to peek if you have a better chance at overtaking on the next straight or corner. Sometimes you can fake peek, so you peek, then rejoin the racing line behind your opponent. This gives you just a small amount of the benefits to peeking, and you can still set up an overtake on the next straight anyway if the peek didn't force them offline. Sometimes it does work though, and they outbrake themselves as you force the driver in front to crack under pressure if they're mirror driving. This is something you can practice if you're on the server on your own, getting practice laps done. Just take uncanny lines under braking. Try dive bombing from certain braking points and see how deep you can go into the corner. Different cars are capable of different things. Some cars might struggle to fake peek. If you have an open wheel car with a lot of downforce, it's much easier to peek and then rejoin the racing line. There's so much grip, especially compared to a heavier stock car, for example, in NASCAR. Depending on the car and the braking distances involved, showing your nose up the inside can yield different results, to be honest. In a touring car, braking distances could be longer and you have more time to make a decision as you brake, but it's harder to rejoin the racing line abruptly. In an open wheel car, it's a lot more aggressive, but the braking distances are shorter, so you have less time to think. Think about it. You could use every trick in the book, and showing your nose up the inside might still not work. Sometimes it just means the driver in front is quicker, or even better than you. Or maybe you're both on the same skill level and they just had track position. Maybe they passed you during the pit stops, had a better strategy, or even just qualified on top of you. In that case, make sure you're not in that situation in the future where you're stuck behind a driver you can't pass. Sometimes it's luck, but sometimes it's a lot of planning. I always think about Lewis Hamilton being stuck behind Michael Schumacher at Monza in 2011. Schumacher used every trick in the book to defend Hamilton and just kept going at it. They were both fighting at it for about 30 laps or so, and finally Hamilton pulled off the move. It felt like an eternity into the race, but he just kept pounding the rock. Even David Coulthard trying every trick in the book. I remember at Monaco in 2001 when he was trying to pass Enrique Benoldi. In these two situations in Formula One, if Hamilton had a greater restart off the safety car, or if Coulthard didn't stall on the grid and start down the rear of the field. Their races could have panned out much differently, though, of course, too. And think about the context. A battle for first place with 3 laps to go is different to a battle for 8th with 20 laps to go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more.